Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, March 14th at 2:29 p.m. I hope everyone had a good daylight savings day. We did lose an hour, but we will gain the hour back during the fallback daylight savings. Anyway, today's blog, will be a re-recording of my impromptu discussion about some financial lessons I've learned. I started off the previous lesson talking about Rich Dad, Poor Dad and how it discusses the idea of capital and owning capital. Because when you own capital and that capital generates services that people need, if you maintain said capital, then it becomes a profit generation machine. The general example is a hotel. You own the land, you own the hotel, and people need, when they're traveling, to sleep somewhere, have some place to rest and relax. So depending on how you market your hotel, you can charge different rates. The Four Seasons can charge a higher rate than Motel 6, for example. Part of that's location and the customers they're serving. The other part is the amenities allowed in the hotel that are given at the hotel. Trump Hotel is an example of a higher class hotel. And a lot of it is a psychological play of every once in a while people want to have some fun at the Four Seasons. Or a better example for me, because I am a chronic gambler, I'm working on it, but that's how my psychology works, is casinos. You have the high-end casinos like the Ritz-Carlton, I think is. No, that's a hotel. Like, I don't know names of any casinos, but the casino has a psychology in Las Vegas of I'm going there to have fun. And I will pay a premium to have fun, because as long as I'm giving good service, as long as I'm having a good time, as long as I build good memories for the future, then it is well worth the price. Now, they do some conniving of the finances in casinos in Las Vegas. Number one, hotels tend to be cheap. Number two, food tends to be cheap. Number three, they encourage you to gamble every second you live in that town. Every second you exist physically in Las Vegas, you are encouraged to gamble and to have the fun that gambling engenders. Downside is that builds some addicts, and no one likes a homeless person because they're addicted to gambling. But that's one of the misfortunes of the gambling service, is some people are ill-equipped to deal with the addictive side of gambling. They don't know how to quit when they need to. By the way, when you go to Las Vegas to gamble, don't gamble to make money. Unless you're a professional poker player, the margins aren't high enough. Number one, they take the rake. And number two, the games, if you play them 1,000 times, except for blackjack, where if you card count, you get kicked out. You can make money off blackjack, but if you make too much, you get kicked out. And that's their choice. They can do that. That's part of the capitalistic structure in which people who own the private property can choose to serve whom they choose to serve. They can choose to refuse to render service to any man or woman they choose, as long as legally they do not violate discrimination laws. Now, here's the funny thing about gambling and casinos. They want you to gamble there, $3,000 to $5,000 to $8,000, but that's not where they make their money. They do make money off the reputation you give of I had a great time in Vegas, at the casino, at this hotel, at this buffet. You become a advertiser for them because of the quality of service. But they also make a lot of money on what they call whales. I learned this from, ironically, a TV show called Las Vegas, where they wine and dine the people who are there to have a good time and to be treated well. And these tends to be really rich people who have the money to spare. And if you serve enough volume of the whales, then you do make money. I am tangenting because I'm focusing on the idea of how there are different income streams to businesses, and you might not be the focus, or you could be the focus. It all sort of depends. A new example is the apps that have in-store purchases, particularly games. Games that have in-store purchases, about only 5% of the people, 80-20 rule, about 5% of the people who play the game generate about 70-80% of the profit for the company that made the game. But they're willing to take this unique dynamic of economics, because these people, they call them whales as well, are willing to spend a lot of money, thousands of dollars on a game. In fact, Hearthstone, back in the day, I was so addicted to cards and the magic of new cards with new powers. I spent over $1,000 of my parents' money. I worked in a donor shop for them, but I spent $1,000 of the money they gave me for working for them on virtual cards that have no existence outside the game and that I do not technically own, because it is only existed on the server and the game platform that Blizzard provided. But I liked it, and it was a poor financial choice, but I needed to get that out of my system because I am a gambling addict. Played cards a long time since I was a kid, and it's something I need to avoid to keep my finances in place. Now, I am at 6 minutes 35 seconds. I will try to wrap up the idea that whenever you come to a business, if you own a business, it's good to partition the type of customer you have into what they call demographics. Traditionally, demographics have been like male 18 to 24 or mother with 2 kids who go to soccer practice from 45 to 60. But nowadays, because of the emergence of social media and the emergence of data streams, which companies can access and research, there are more ways to divide demographics. And the way I define demographics nowadays isn't according to your biology or your location, but according to your purchase behaviors. Standard example from Target, and this is a horrible example. Young, pregnant teenagers who aren't married to the father of the child. This is a horrible story. Target sent coupons to one of those people because the data science concluded accurately that because of her spending habits and her demographic data, she would want to buy diapers. Her parents caught wind of the coupons and they were like, "What is this?" They approached the mother of the child, the, I believe, 16, 17-year-old, and said, "Why are you getting coupons for diapers? Are you pregnant?" And she cried, understandably, because the government, the Target, the company, let loose a secret that is more preferred to be discussed at the right time among family members. But that's the power of big data. They can find trends and facts in the information they're given, and based on the computational strength of those calculations, find trends that even humans couldn't predict. I think it was something like she drank a lot of soda or something like that. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. Now I'm at 9 minutes, so I should wrap up soon. This conversation, a shoot of Finance 1, Blog 5, this is Blog 6, was an attempt to explain that in business, on the sales side of business, you have multiple income streams. And I define an income stream in this case as a customer base. A customer base is a demographic which simply has similar purchase behaviors, similar needs preferably, similar ways to persuade them to buy your item. Example, I joined Tony Robbins' group. I paid a year subscription for it because I like saving 33% on a program whenever I buy it a year in advance, because I plan on using it for a year, and I barely, just by pure luck, had the income streams to afford it. And I saved $200-300 over what I would have used, and it kind of commits me to put in a full year to listening to it without any choice to cancel. I valued the program so much, the Tony Robbins program, that I wanted to buy in for a year, not worry about finances for that year of monthly subscriptions, and go from there. But conversely, that's why I don't subscribe to Netflix. I don't want to watch their TV shows for an entire year and spend as much time on TV as I would want to on personal development. There is a scarcity of time for every human being. None of us are immortal. Corporations might be, but they all probably aren't immortal. They just live hundreds of years. I'm at 11 minutes, so let me wrap this up. This is about the scarcity of time. As a consumer, I have scarcity of time as well as scarcity of money. But scarcity of money isn't a big issue anymore because of my personal economics of random windfalls I get. So when I have a random windfall and I want to buy a year subscription to a service, that's basically buying the service for an entire year, which I will probably is almost like buying the product itself. And I thought it was a good deal. So that's how they wrote me into the Psychology of Tony Robbins program. And they have a lot of other good stuff. I'm not going to link it because I don't want to advertise, because that requires special permissions from YouTube. But again, demographics, which I define as people with similar purchase behaviors. Alright, see you guys later.